Blaze with Blaze Handcrafted Woodworks again, and today I'm going to show you how to make a glass cabinet door. So first of all, we start off with all of our rails and stiles. These would be considered our rails, our copes. So these fit into here. So when you put the two pieces together, it truly makes a joint. So these are called the copes or the rails, and you can see how that is shaped, and then you can see how the sticks or the stiles are shaped, and the copes fit into there. So that's the joint. And then what I do is I have a door clamping table way over there that squeezes them perfectly square and tight. So I'll put glue on all of these surfaces, and then I'll shoot a little 5/8 inch brad. I usually put 2 of them. And then once the glue dries, the glue's what's really holding it. I don't take the brads out, but the brads hold it basically until it's glued. So that's the other glass door. I just finished doing one, but this is it all put together. I put it into my clamping machine. I shot my 5/8 inch brads in it. It's been sitting up for at least 30 minutes, so the glue is sufficiently dry for me to start cutting out the back part, but I'll show you something. Let me get it up on this cabinet real quick. So because this door was so long, I put a mullion bar in between. This just keeps it from warping and twisting, or that's the idea. And I went ahead and I cut the lip off of all of these rails. I couldn't do it with the stiles because if I cut that groove all the way off, right here you'd have a big gap. But I can do it on my copes or my rails. So I cut all of those, this one on the mullion bar, because the glass is gonna fit in here and in here. I had to do it on both sides. So anyway, now I need to go to the table saw and I need to cut this part up here off so that glass can fit into here. There's no way you could slide glass in there and make it work. So you have to cut that out. And then they usually use these little things called glacier points and what is that stuff? Not caulk, but silicone. And the glacier points hold it until the silicone dries, and then you got your glass cabinet doors. So I'll walk over to the table saw and I'll show you how I'm gonna cut this piece off to receive the glass. So the first thing I do is I take a machine part. This one's actually a cope. It doesn't have to be. It could have been just a rail. And what I'm doing is I'm measuring from the outside to this inside right here. I'm way too close. Hang on, let me try this again. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm measuring from down here up to where this is. And then I'm gonna set my fence at that minus 1/8 of an inch, because the kerf of the blade or the blade thickness is 1/8 of an inch. And I want it to just kiss this part right here. I want it to just touch it. If it goes in a little bit, it's okay. Then the next thing that I measure for is I measure for the height of my blade. So I want my blade to cut all the way through this, because I'm cutting this little lip off. I want it to go through this. And if it goes a little bit into this part, which is on these particular doors, a shaker style with a little round over, if it cuts into this from the backside, you'll never see it. And I'd rather do that rather than have to make several passes. So this is how I'm getting my height. So if you can see it, it is just barely gonna cut into the inside of this part, which is okay. Actually, I'm gonna raise it up maybe like a 32nd or a 64th. Okay, so I have everything set up just like I want it. And I did this earlier, I marked on my fence where the blade comes out of the table and where, well, I should say where it comes out of the table and where it goes into the table. Let me zoom out some so you can see. So anyway, there's these marks on my fence. So that way I don't accidentally cut a big line into this part. I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I guess I could fix it, but I'd rather not have to fix it. So that's why I made these marks. And I know that if I drop the edge of my door down on this first mark, this mark is gonna line up right behind this blade, and I'll just be able to go all the way to my mullion bar, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so I got my glasses on for safety, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start this. Let me put my kit pack here in my pocket. Let me move this other door out of my way. Around on the other side. Here's what we have so far. So now all I have to do is take a chisel and clean out the corners. These pieces are gonna pop off. Well, I don't want to screw up the door, but these will just pop off once I cut my corners. I'm actually gonna use my oscillating tool to get it close, and then I'll use a chisel to finish it up, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. So I got one cut off. Now I just got to cut off the other three. Okay, so one side is done. I don't feel the need to show you both sides, but I'll show you what it looks like. So the glass is gonna fit inside of here. Let me back up. Okay, so the glass is gonna fit inside of here. You can see this one, I haven't cut them off yet. but you couldn't put glass in there because this was in the way. But anyway, on this side, you can see that I made a nice little dado all the way around it. And once again, it's important to know you have to do at least the stiles, these parts, or the sticks, whatever you call them. You have to do them after the door is put together. If you do them first, you'll end up with an 1/8 inch gap right here in between your rail and your stile. I know that because I maybe have done that before. Maybe.